Welcome to the Eglowitz Variety Show. Don't ask what it's about because I don't know. I just do whatever I feel like doing, and hopefully it makes somebody smile. Hello friends, new and old, and welcome, once again to this latest edition of the Eglowitz Variety Show. I burped because I'm consuming some 2-day-old stale ginger ale as I record this. Let's skip the ramble about the reason I haven't made videos in so long. If you hear that beeping in the background, it's because my meal is ready, which I'm actually going to go get before I begin continuing with the video. I'll talk as I go get it, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear me from where I'm going, but hopefully you can hear me, because I'm quite excited to sit down and go through what I got today, and I'm really excited to show off my couple of items that I got at Comic-Con 2023 today. Today is Sunday, October 23rd, or whatever the last day of Comic-Con New York 2023 was. That is today. The meal I'm eating, in case you're curious, is ouch, it's hot. Broccoli and chicken Alfredo from Healthy Choice, and this is from their Simply Steamers line. Maybe you think I'm drunk because of all the stuttering over my words I'm doing and the belch at the beginning, and I'm having that thought creep into my head, but I promise you I'm not. I wouldn't necessarily be ashamed if I was. I just haven't made a video in so long. I'm out of practice, just kind of going on off the cuff like this, I suppose. This video is not sponsored by Healthy Choice, but if it were sponsored by Healthy Choice, I would probably say something like Healthy Choice Simply Steamers brand, where the choice is healthy and the steamers are simple. And then whatever the theme song would play. I think that was the Wii Sports song I just sung. It's buried in my brain somewhere. So my plan for today's video is I'm going to, at a nice leisurely pace, finish off the last quarter of my bottle of ginger ale. I'm going to eat this Healthy Choice steamer. And I'm going to show off the action figures that I got at New York Comic Con 2023. I got two things that are not action figures, but for the most part, I'm all about the action figures, mostly Marvel and wrestling related action figures. So that's pretty much what today's video is going to be. Come here. I don't remember if Steve has ever made a guest appearance on the Eglowitz Variety Show. I don't remember if I've made a video since Steve has moved in with me. But if this is his first appearance, I'd like to welcome Steve to the channel. He doesn't very much enjoy being picked up and held. Sometimes he allows me to for a little bit, but he's feeling impatient tonight because he's waiting for his dinner, which he will get at the conclusion of the filming of this video. So without further ado, and like I said before, actually with somewhat further ado, I'm going to clarify that I intend to take my time a little bit. You know, when I get new action figures, I like to kind of feel them in the hand for a bit and, put them in a couple of poses in my hand and just kind of get a sense of what the action figure is like and kind of get to know it a little bit. And I guess, let it get to know me a little bit. So that's what I intend to do. If you're here for a quick one and done, quickie, no foreplay kind of video, I'm not your guy, I'm afraid. But you probably, if you are here, already knew that. So now, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm actually deciding to do right here on the fly is I'm going to separate my new action figures by the vendor from which I purchased them. And these first three that I'm going to show you were actually, I think, the last vendor I went to. So I'll go in reverse order of vendors that I went to. Going to take them all out of their plastic baggies here off screen to let the anticipation build as to whatever I might be unboxing over here. I'm going to go first with Captain Carter. I got Captain Carter loose. All of these action figures from this first vendor I acquired loose, and this is actually my favorite vendor at Comic-Con. I've been to Comic-Con the last 2 years, New York Comic-Con,
And both times this vendor was there, and they just have bins full of loose Marvel and other kinds of action figures, but I only really care about the Marvel ones. Here's Captain Carter. And it's one of my favorite ones to go to. I have to say, my haul from this vendor, as well as my haul just kind of generally this year, is not as juicy as my haul last year. Last year, I got Daredevil, I got Nash Carter, the wrestling figure that I was looking for, I got Iron Patriot, I think I got Ironmonger. I got just some juicy pickups last year. And I have to say, unfortunately, the haul was not as juicy this year. But Captain Carter is a figure that I have wanted for some time. But I never really, to be honest, I don't really collect the movie figures much. So I never cared enough to kind of go out of my way for her. And I never saw her until today in person to purchase. But I do, even being not a movie figure collector, hi buddy, I do appreciate the What If figures because they blend in with my comic collection pretty well because of their kind of cartoony nature. I do wonder, with Captain Carter's outfit, if it would not behoove her to have a helmet in a similar vein to how Captain America has a helmet or some kind of face protection, because if her, her enemies could just kind of shoot her in the head or stab her in the head or something. And not that I wish that on Captain Carter, but, it's just kind of practical. I kind of think the same thing about Falcon, particularly the Sam Wilson from the movies and TV shows Falcon, whether he's in his Falcon garb or Captain America garb. His head is just kind of exposed, and he could easily, it's a tremendous weak spot. Hello, Steve. He's never heard me talk this much with no one else in the room. I don't think he quite understands what's going on, but I'm happy to see some pinless double joints here in both the arms and the legs on Peggy Carter. And I've been showing her off to you, the camera, but I'm going to take a second and take a look here. I really, really do like these What If figures. I actually recently, from GameStop, I found the What If Gamora in her Thanos armor. I know that episode was scrapped. Hopefully it'll be in Season 2 of What If. But I'm going to use that Gamora as like just my regular comic Gamora. I know it's not necessarily a look that is accurate to her in the comics, but you know what I mean? The comic Gamora is very expensive, and the movie Gamora is too movie-ish for me, but that one, it's a great middle ground, and for my purposes, for my little ragtag Guardians of the Galaxy display, it'll do just fine. This figure is really cool. It feels great in the hand. It's got a couple spots that might be a little sticky on it, so I think all these figures are going to be due for a bit of a wash later. I do wish the shield stayed on her arm a little bit better. Oh, actually, no, I'm eating my words a bit. I think you're intended to kind of hike it up on the arm, and so it catches on her cuff over here, so the shield straps catch on her cuff. But that, to me, it's a little too high up on her arm for my liking. I wish there was a way that it could kind of rest here, maybe with her fist directly in it, because this looks better to me, having it kind of, a little bit further down. I could try it in her other hand, because that's a fisted hand that I was just doing, and this one is a grippy hand. So maybe there's a way that I could line it up with the grippy hand over here. But see, the grippy hand is a little wider, so it's tough to get through the strap, but I could get it to hold the other strap, and I think that'll work out. Yeah, that works out actually pretty nicely. Now it's still a little bit loose, but if I articulate the wrist inward a bit, perhaps there will come a day where I'm a big fancy YouTuber with a multicam setup, and I'll be able to show you what I'm doing and narrate it and have multiple takes going and hire an editor or something. But for the time being, you'll have to bear with me. Kind of. This is it's a little loosey-goosey, or maybe I'm doing it backwards. I'm really not sure. I'll try it the other way around, just for F's sake. I try not to curse on the channel. I probably have a couple of times, but some of my videos have been flagged as being not for children for various reasons, which I think leads to demonetization. So for the sake of that, I'll try to avoid saying the F word, or referencing anything not kid-friendly, be it sex, drugs, and or rock and roll. I'm having a hard time with getting the shield on there, and it's a bit disappointing. Maybe there's some kind of trick or something I'm not learning, and if I display her kind of with her arm bent, it doesn't matter, but I'd like to be able to display her kind of as I display my other Captain Americas, or I guess Captain Carter in this case, because she's not American, but with the shield kind of, with the down position like that. I think this would be perfect if I can get it to stay kind of like that. Maybe it will, it is what it is. I'm not going to be jiggling it around, testing its stability on the shelf. So I'm sure I could put it up just like that and it'll be fine. The flag is nice and straight. That looks really cool. I'm a big fan of the head. I know I said it a couple times, but I'm a real big fan of how these What If figures allow me to get some new characters in my comic-centric collection that are, maybe inspired by movie characters, but blend in with the comic looks really well. So I'm super, super happy with Captain Carter here. Yes, Steve, do you like Captain Carter? Okay, you got it, buddy. Steve would like to be pet, so I'm going to go ahead and give him a pet. I don't think he would actually like a pet, but it's what he's getting until his dinner is ready. And I'm going to take a bite of my chicken and broccoli Alfredo here. I know it's Alfredo. I'm just being silly. Please don't comment anything. Or do comment something. Tell me I'm an idiot for saying it wrong, because hate comments are better than no comments. Next we got not super juicy of a figure, but Batroc. I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Batroc. Sorry, French people. Batroc the Leaper. Not a figure that I've been, he's a figure I've kind of had a passive interest in owning for a long time. And here he is. I kind of want to... I like having a decent roster of villains, to throw up on my villain shelf. And I keep referencing all these shelves and displays, which I don't have yet. But I do have shelf space now that I've never had before. So I'm going to get those shelves going soon. Maybe I'll do a video on that, on setting them up or showing them off when they're done. But here's Batroc the Leaper. And like I said, he's a figure I've kind of had passive interest in having. Kind of just a standard Bucky Cap repaint, But he's an interesting enough villain, I think. He's got a unique color scheme. I don't know that much about the character, to be honest, but I do enjoy having a rogues gallery. I like having new characters in my collection. And as I'm kind of playing around with them and holding them and stuff, yeah, it's kind of exactly what I expected. Standard Bucky Cap figure. Although I do have to say that I do not... I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but I do not appreciate that Marvel Legends action figures are going up about a half an inch or 3/4 of an inch or so in scale. Because, let's say a character like Batroc the Leaper, right? Or any number of obscure characters that are on the Bucky Cap mold, or similar, the Sunfire mold, or the Pizza Spidey mold, or similar body molds. And for anyone who's not a Marvel Legends person that might be watching this, I keep calling this the Bucky Cap mold, because this particular body mold that this figure is made from, the first figure to use this mold was Captain America, Bucky as Captain America. And since it's kind of a generic buff person body mold, it can be repainted as any number of characters, and it has been repainted as probably dozens of characters. So it's known as the Bucky Cap body mold, and same logic with the Pizza Spidey body mold. It was a Spider-Man figure that came with pizza. Or the Sunfire body mold. There's any number of body molds that have been repainted dozens of times to resemble various characters. And they are now... Hasbro, who runs Marvel Legends, is now putting out new body molds that are becoming the new standard. There's the Vulcan body mold. There's the Renew Your Vows body mold and other body molds that are becoming popular. But these new body molds are just a little tiny bit bigger. So they're just going to be a little bit out of scale. So the 6-inch scale that the average figure is now going to be slightly undersized. And all these obscure characters that we got, like Batroc or like an Orb, or I'm trying to think of other kind of super obscure characters that we've got. Blizzard, who else? Whirlwind, just like super obscure characters, heroes and villains that are not likely to get re-releases because there's not that much demand for them. So we're going to be stuck with kind of their outdated, shorter figures, which is a bit disappointing because my whole collection is from kind of the late aughts to early 2010s period of Marvel Legends, where they are this scale. And the new figures are not going to be in scale, which sucks. And, like I said, all these characters that are not likely to get remade. So I'm kind of slowing down on my Marvel Legends collecting a bit and thinking that I'm probably going to be just re-upping on characters that I missed from the 2008 or 9-ish period to the late 2010s, such as Batroc the Leaper. And here he is. That's really all I got to say on that. And another one that I guess falls in a similar kind of similar vein, I got Radioactive Man. This figure is pretty interesting, and I'm probably going to take a second or so more with him than I did with Batroc there. Very cool. This was another, I believe this is the Hyperion body mold. This was another one of the body molds that Marvel Legends used for many characters. You could see he's a bit bigger and taller and wider than Batroc. So a character like this, Luke Cage was on this body mold. Who else? Hyperion was the first one to be on this body mold. I think there might have been a Sentry on this body mold. There was a Venom on this body mold. So, like, human-sized characters, but bigger human-sized characters would go on this mold. And Radioactive Man was a character that only came in a 3-pack with Captain Marvel in her older, skimpier outfit. And I think Captain America might have been Ultimate Captain America, or maybe an Iron Man. I really don't remember. But Radioactive Man was only ever released in that 3-pack. So he goes for... Is this the same head mold as Luke Cage? I'm like 99% sure this is the exact same head sculpt as a Luke Cage figure. Just painted with Radioactive Man's features on it. So that's interesting. I didn't know they were reusing face molds too. But yeah, pretty interesting villain. Like, look at him. You saw me playing around with the flashlight. The plastic was almost entirely translucent. And I could almost imagine getting like a green filtered light and putting it up behind him and just lighting him up and how cool it would look. But yeah, I found this figure, all 3 of these figures, I found in the Lucy bin at this one vendor that I really like at Comic-Con. And they were a good price altogether. The guy tends to kind of, relative to Comic-Con, have decent prices. And relative to the aftermarket of action figures, have decent prices. So there's Radioactive Man. He's pretty cool. I really can't believe it's the same head sculpt as Luke Cage, if I'm not losing my mind and if I'm seeing it correctly. No, that's it. Or is it Drax, maybe? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's Luke Cage. That is absolutely bananas. I'm going to take another bite of my dinner here. I hope you're doing well. How have you been? What's new with you? Have you grown since we last seen each other? Emotionally and physically? Have you gotten any new pets? Or new toys? New friends? No? That's okay. I'll put those 3 to the side. The middle vendor that I stopped at, since I'm going in reverse order here, I also got 3 action figures at. 1 loose and 2 packaged. So I'll go ahead and get into the second vendor pickups now. I'll take out the loose one for you first, and my God, it's everything I hoped for and more. Holy cow. You might have saw him cross by the camera a couple times already, but in case you didn't, it is the Wendigo Wave or Apocalypse Wave. Mr. Sinister, baby. Let's go. Look at this guy. Holy cow. Outstanding. Individual tassels on all the... double... There's 2 layers worth of tassels, and they're all mobile. Holy cow. This is an outstanding action figure. Oh my God. Absolutely gorgeous. I might cry right now. This is a Mr. Sinister action figure that's a couple years older, and there was a newer Mr. Sinister action figure that came out as part of the, X-Men animated series figure line. But all the figures that are based on the animated series most often have shading painted onto them in a way that doesn't look very good to me, personally. It doesn't align with my taste, and also doesn't look good next to other comic figures that don't have it. But this guy has none of that. He is just pure fucking gloss. Wow, look at the cuts in the sides of the cape, that sinister ass face sculpt. The colors on this thing pop beautifully. This is... wow. I'm not joking. I might cry on camera right now. This is it was a pretty difficult figure to find for quite a while, and I think its price on said earlier aforementioned aftermarket dipped a little bit once the VHS version of the figure came out. But this is still, this is not an action figure that you see every day by any means. Oh my goodness. Check out the sculpted detail with the I forget the lines in the costume. There's a better word that that's not coming to mind. Not rivets. But the texturing in the costume. Oh my goodness gracious. I am so happy to have this figure. I am thrilled. I am really, really thrilled with this. My God. God broke the mold when he made this one, I know. As I forget the man who sings that song's name, but man, it's about a woman that he loves, this song, but man, I might write a song about this action figure. My God. Resplendent he is. Absolutely captivating. Wow, maybe some paint I might have to wipe off on the tassels, or some scuff marks to wipe off on the tassels. And a little bit of scuffage on the head there, which is a bit disappointing. But I'll give him, all these figures, I'm going to give a clean with soap and water. All the loose ones, at least. Give them a rinse with soap and water and get them cleaned up. Hi, Steve. Do you want to say hello again? Guess how many subscribers I have, Steve? Ugh. 56. Okay, he's not interested in saying hello. There will be a time where he will be. Perhaps the next time I make a video, whether it's in a week or a month, he'll be in a mood where he's a little more affable. Is that the word for friendly? Let's move on. Liv Morgan from WWE Elite Series 103. So this action figure is now tied with Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins from the same wave of Elite figures for newest action figure that I own. Elite 103 is one of the newer waves of WWE action figures. So I'm going ahead, and if you've met me in person or talked to me online in any facet for more than about 15 seconds, I probably mentioned to you that I, as an action figure collector, and this is going to give people feelings, certain people feelings, but I am very much a rip it out of the box, stat pronto kind of guy. I think, in my opinion, action figures are made to be felt and enjoyed and posed and played with. And played with doesn't necessarily have to mean, you know, that you play with them in the same way that a child would, per se, although there's nothing wrong with that if that's your cup of tea. But, I mean, played with in terms of like I've been doing with them so far in this particular video, you know? Just check out what they're made of, pose them around a little bit. Looks like we're working with some rubber bands here. Not rubber bands, but some little plastic kind of wrist straps, which you can pretty easily tear by giving the figure a good tug. Liv Morgan. I have a Liv Morgan figure already, which is within my eyesight, but which unfortunately I will not be getting up to get. But here's Liv Morgan from WWE Elite Series 103. And I'm having some mixed feelings about the action figure so far, to be quite honest. and I'm going to take a bite of my dinner, chew it, and explore the figure for another moment, and after I do those things, I will expand upon what I'm saying. I'm not drunk, I promise. I know I keep on stuttering and mixing my words up, but I actually haven't drank in, I think, over a week. Not that it's a problem and I'm counting my sober days or anything, just making a comment. Okay. This is a strange... I'm feeling quite strange about this Liv Morgan. And I know I said I wasn't going to get up and get my other Liv Morgan, but you know what they say about promises? It's water under the bridge. So here is... Here's the previous Liv Morgan figure that I have. And this is from, I think, one of two other elite figures that she's had besides this, her newest. And the first thing right away that I'm noting, I think these are the same head sculpts. I think the paint might be different on the two, but I do believe them to be the same head sculpt. And I'm looking at them here just to get a view. I am not liking the fact that she's got what look like trails of makeup running underneath her eyes from crying. And looking at the box, it might not be inaccurate necessarily, because this is, I don't know if it's showing up too well on the box, but this figure is based on the night that Liv Morgan won the Money in the Bank match, which granted her this briefcase, which allowed her to then win the Women's Championship, which was a long time in the making for this character and performer. So it was an emotional night and she cried. And so it being based on that, I wonder if it was a choice to have it look like there's tears running down her face, you know, makeup trails. And I looked it up. That's a lie, not looked it up. I looked at the other Liv Morgan figures this vendor had, because he had about 4 of them. Steve is playing with something strange over there. And they all had this, so it leads me to believe it was a stylistic choice the design team made. And I don't know if I quite like that, to be honest. I think I much prefer the kind of tearless head that the other figure has. But I think the lips are also painted much better on this newer one. I know this is weird stuff to be talking about and analyzing, but this is what we action figure freaks do. I love the attire on this one, though, much more than this one. This one is a bit, I don't know. I don't know if this necessarily fit the character that Liv Morgan is. And this one I feel is way more, you know, spunky Jersey girl than this one is. But I'm also a bit confused, and granted, I have not kept up as consistently with WWE the last few years, but I don't think money has ever been like a huge part of Liv's character, except, you know, maybe it's this being the Money in the Bank match, and so for luck she put some money on her and wore the green to kind of, you know, symbolize money, to symbolize this was her night. Does the head pop off of this figure? No, not easily, at least. No, yes it does. So what I might do, and I did not just break the figure, a lot of wrestling figures lately are being made to have deliberately easily removable heads, because many times they come with alternate heads that you could swap on if you'd like. So maybe I'll do a head swap and put the old head sculpt without the crying running makeup on the new Liv Morgan body with an attire that I much prefer. And the other thing that I'm not quite a huge fan of, to be quite honest, is that the championship that Liv Morgan comes with has the Liv Morgan exclusive side plates on it. Because I've actually been needing a SmackDown Women's Championship belt for my belt collection. And having the Liv Morgan side plates on it makes it so that unless I fold it up in a way where you can't see the side plates, that this can really only go with Liv Morgan figures. And her championship reign, I don't believe, was a very long one. Not that I remember too certainly. But I don't remember it to be a necessarily long reign. And I much prefer, even if it's a little less accurate, when the championship belts come with kind of generic WWE logo side plates. So at least that way, maybe they're a little less unique to the figure and to the character, but they can be used with any number of figures in your collection that you might want to hold the belt. Hi, Steve. Come. Will you say hi to the camera now? Come here. Oh, okay. No problem. You're going to eat soon, dude, I promise. Cats are, I'm learning, absolute melodrama queens. Give him a good pet before I move on, and I'll take a bite of my food. I think that's about all I got to say about Liv Morgan. I'm happy to have the figure, and I got it for a good deal of a price, especially a good deal of a price for a figure this new. So I'm not particularly upset about it. And, you know, maybe I could even try to get a little tiny drop of rubbing alcohol on a Q-tip and scrub away the paint. I'm not too worried about devaluing it or anything. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the dollar signs on the gear. It's kind of a specific gear towards the Money in the Bank match. Not a big fan of the crying. Not a big fan of the exclusive side plates on the belt. But overall, I think the double joints make it an improvement from the old figure. And the attire, I think it's a better fit for the character than the previous attire was. But all good, is what it is. I'm going to put Liv Morgan here with the other figures from the haul. And this old Liv Morgan, I'm going to throw across the room onto a soft surface that is near where I will return her to later. Hello. That hello is to Steve. He's looking at me. Steve the cat, in case you forgot. Liv Morgan, Montez Ford, and Angelo Dawkins from Series 103 are, as of now, as of this moment, officially replaced by Dakota Kai from Series 104. Actually, looking at the back of the box, I have another figure from this wave. So technically, Liv Morgan, Angelo Dawkins, and or Montez Ford never had the record for newest figure that I own. So take that, Street Profits and Liv. Their worlds are going to be irreparably damaged by thinking they had that honor. And then it was stripped away like that. Here's Steve. You can see his ear poking into frame there. I don't think Liv, Angelo, or Montez will have a peaceful sleep again in their lives, knowing they were blue-balled like that. Actually, again, I got the Street Profits, Angelo and Montez, before I got the figure from 104. So actually, there most likely was a point in time where Angelo and Montez were the newest figures that I owned. But Liv, forget about it. She's changed forever. Okay, some interesting things going on here that I'm noting already as I unpack Dakota Kai from her packaging here. I'm going to tell you a story about Dakota Kai as I open up her figure here and get it out of the package. I originally, when I saw this action figure, the pictures of it first be released, the prototype images first be released, I thought the head was one of the most unfathomably bad head sculpts I've ever seen for a WWE figure, men or women's. And there it is. And so I saw it today on the shelf of the vendor at Comic-Con. And I didn't even really give it much of a chance. I kind of just said, you know what? I'm not even going to look at it. But I picked her up and I looked at it. And in person, the head sculpt does not look as bad as it did in the pictures. And I'm holding it up to the camera now and looking at the screen, because I'm recording this as I do most of my videos selfie style. And it looks very bad. But looking at her with my eyes, the real ones that are on my head, it's really not half bad. It's a goofy expression, sure, but it's not half bad. So I think that if you were in the same boat that I was in thinking that you would pass on this figure and maybe pay what I think is a little bit more for her, I think, more expensive Royal Rumble Elite, this is not a bad figure. It's not. There she is. Hi, Steve. I know you're so hungry. I know you think it's time to eat, but it's not. I know. It will be very soon, though. I can assure you of that. Alright. So here's Dakota Kai. And here's something I'm finding curious. I haven't even really picked up the figure and given it a spin yet. It comes with a microphone accessory. Pretty cool. Hi, Steve. Hello. Stevie would like some loving, it seems, and he's going to get it. I hope you're doing good down there, buddy. She comes with 2 interchangeable hands, a hey, what's good, surfs up, hang 10, is that what this is, hand, and a fisted hand that can be exchanged with either of the hands that come on her to begin with. Hi, buddy boy. Hello. Can I give you a kiss on your little forehead? No? Alright. What I was getting at was that in both the cover picture of Dakota, which this head sculpt clearly seems to be based on, and the attire seems to be based on, in the back of the picture, which has matching hair and, you know, a matching outfit to the picture here, it seems like she's got a women's tag team championship in both pictures. Even the side of the box picture, you could see the little corner of the tag team championship bleeding in there. And yet the figure herself only comes with 2 extra hands and a microphone. But the math ain't mathing, as I believe to be said. Now, I'm not going to let the absence of a women's tag team championship belt being included ruin my enjoyment of the figure per se, but it's certainly noted. Certainly noted. I'm into it. Cool figure. I like it. She's got cool tattoos that are, I assume, based on the real Dakota Kai, unless an employee at Mattel Design went rogue and put tattoos that the performer doesn't have on the action figure, for what reason I don't know. But unless that likely situation happened, she got accurate tattoos on her. The gear is cool. She's got a couple accessories hanging off, which I always appreciate, rather than them just being painted on or something like that. Cool gear. Texture to the figure. quite a bit of texture, actually. Well, the kick pads are painted on. But there's this belt accessory that's added that wraps all the way around. And her top has a bit of, listen, texture on there. Those kind of, those little lines on the top in this particular part of the top are textured, and that's really cool. Good detail, good paint as far as like the little tiny, you know, rivets and stuff. And I'll give Liv Morgan her credit too. This figure, while I'm talking about texture, is also texture heaven, to give another compliment to this outfit for this character. But yeah, I'm into it. I'm into it, this figure. I think really including a tag team championship with her, a women's tag team championship, would have put it, you know, a level above into like, holy shit, like excellent, awesome, great figure territory. But this is good. This is a really good figure. I'm into it. I don't feel, cheated. Good head articulation, which I know is sometimes a problem for the women's figures, but because she's got these pigtails, it's real easy to maneuver the head around without the hair getting in the way too much. Excuse me again. I'm into it. Dakota Kai, good figure. I like her. I like the performer. I like the character. I'm into this figure. And the head sculpt, you know, it really is not as bad as it looks. Even, again, like I said, looking at it now, it looks horrendous. But holding it in hand, it's not that bad. What do you think, Steve? Do you think it's good? Yeah, right? It's not that bad. Yeah, Dakota Kai. Not a bad purchase. And with that, the last figure I'll have to take out of the package in this video. The Alfredo is not for you. You can smell it, but don't eat it. No licking. Oh, you just want me. You just want love. He just wants to be pet. Don't we all, buddy? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have one more figure to show you. And then a surprise. That's not sarcasm. I know that felt like a joke I might have made sarcastically. But it's not. There is a surprise. You're so right, buddy. You can smell it, don't lick it. Yeah? Same with that. You can smell, please don't lick. Good? Yeah, good. I'm glad we're in agreement. Don't lick it. I'm watching you. Alfredo is not for kitties. It's for puppies. Don't feed your dog that. I don't know if that's true. I was being silly. Hello. Adding a cat to my life has been probably one of the most incredible decisions I ever made. The last figure I'm going to share with you today, since we've been going in reverse order, is from the first vendor that I went to. Or that I should say, at least I made a purchase at. I have this action figure to show you, and then I have the other two purchases I made that were not action figures to show you. And then the surprise, actually, because I forgot I bought some other stuff. So let's go ahead and open this guy up. This guy was from Nowhere, the vendor. Huh. Where is Nowhere? Where's that, where'd you get that action fit? No, hold on. Man, oh man, if what I'm about to share with you is not a life coming full circle moment, I don't know what is. As I was recording, the reason there was a rare cut in an Eglowitz Variety Show video from the last clip to this one, is because I ran out of storage on my tablet mid-filming. And so I started going through my camera roll, because I know I have quite a few lengthy videos that I could delete. And I found an hour-long video, and I said, oh, I could delete that, but let me just take a look at it and make sure I didn't, make sure it's not something I need or meant to upload. And I took a look at it, and guess what it was? It was my Comic-Con haul video from last year. and I deleted it to make space on my tablet for this one. You know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Right, Steve? That's right. So the first vendor I went to today, the first vendor I made a purchase from today was from nowhere. And to finish the joke I just remembered I was in the middle of making, hey, where did you get that action figure? Nowhere. What do you mean nowhere? That's where I got it. Nowhere. How do you get an action figure from nowhere? No, not nowhere. Nowhere. You get it. Anyway, this figure might surprise you a bit. I don't quite know if this is a Toy Biz Marvel Legend or a Hasbro Marvel Legend. It is a loose Marvel Legend because I purchased it out of the package, I can tell you that much. But it's Bucky. It's Bucky. Captain America's sidekick before being inducted with the Winter Soldier serum, and I'm thinking this is most likely a Toy Biz Bucky for the sole reason of he's got toe joints. Did I say Toe Biz? I meant Toy Biz if I said Toe Biz. I'm pretty sure this is a Toy Biz Bucky because the Hasbro figures seldom have toe joints unless your name is Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. And I think a pre-serum, pre-Winter Soldier Bucky is a figure that's pretty much one of the most due for an upgrade, but also seems the least likely to get one. So I figured this guy was there, he was super cheap, why not pick him up? I'm not quite positive how he'll scale with other figures, so I'm just out of curiosity going to put him up next to my Captain Carter here. And, maybe he's a little big, actually. Usually the Toy Biz figures are a bit small. But you would think Captain Carter would be actually, she's a decent bit bigger than him, but her head is also way bigger. But I guess if he's to be like a very young man, like a teenager, and this is a full-grown adult woman on Super Soldier Serum, maybe it makes a bit of sense that her head is that much bigger. Now let's take a look at like Batroc the Leaper and do a size comparison and see how that looks. I gotta do it from my perspective first, actually, so I could get a look. Yeah, this Bucky's a little bit big, which is really strange. It's usually the opposite problem that you have with the Toy Biz figures. This guy is kind of big, and his proportions aren't necessarily in consistency with these proportions. But the cool thing is, here's another telltale sign, it's a Toy Biz figure, he's got finger joints. The cool thing is, nobody is going to come into my house and arrest, harm, and or chastise me for my action figure collection not being completely in scale. So how much am I worried about that? I'll tell you, not very. I'm cool. I'm happy to have this character. I've wanted to have a Bucky pre-serum, pre-Winter Soldier for quite some time. And due for an upgrade as he may be, it's unlikely to happen, at least in my opinion, anytime soon. And this is not a bad figure at all. It's actually kind of cool. Here he is blocking the sun from his eyes. Hi, Steve. Yeah, man. Is that so? This is also now my third Bucky figure that I own, because I first got, actually fifth, come to think of it, if I include movie figures, which I know I said I didn't collect, but I did at one point. So I think I first had the Infinity War 2-pack Winter Soldier, and then probably the comic Black Widow Wave Winter Soldier, and then the Falcon and the Winter Soldier Wave Build-A-Wing Wave Winter Soldier. And then I sold the two movie-based Winter Soldiers. So I had only one Winter Soldier, one Bucky, and then I got Bucky Cap of the Bucky Cap mold, Bucky Cap, because I don't like that the new Bucky Cap is so freaking big. And now I got Bucky. So this is the fifth James Buchanan Barnes figure that I've owned, cumulatively, but the third one I'll be adding to my collection now. Maybe I'll make like a little then, now, forever display. I'll put the Evolution of Bucky Barnes type of thing. That might be a cool 3-pack, come to think of it. And I love Hasbro. I know Hasbro loves to put figures that they know that everybody wants, such as an updated Boy Scout Bucky into multi-packs with figures that are already out. So if they really wanted to, they could probably do a 3-pack of the Golden Boy being an updated Bucky, along with a Winter Soldier, and they could retool it a bit from the Black Widow wave Winter Soldier. I don't know, give him a different arm or give him something to set him apart. And then the third figure could be the Bucky cap, and it could be a re-release of the recent Bucky cap, and it could be like a, evolution of James Barnes kind of thing. I know that'd be pretty cool. Maybe it's like a Pulse exclusive or something. I'd buy it. I probably wouldn't, actually. That's a lie. Because I got this guy now, so I have no need for it. Steve, please stop that. Hey, no. Please don't do that. I said please, bro. Come on. I know. I can give you something else to play with if you'd like. Would you like another toy to play with? Come. How about this? Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Come. Get him. Get him. He's in bed, Stevie. Get him. He's in our bed, bro. You gotta save us. Steve was playing with something that I would rather him not be playing with, so I'm trying to redirect him towards something that he can play with. And if you heard a cricket chirping while I was doing that, it's because there's a family of crickets living in our space that I can't seem to get rid of. Anyway, I probably wouldn't buy an Evolution of James Barnes 3-pack, though I do think it's a good idea. Because I have this guy to be my Bucky, I have a Winter Soldier, and I have a Bucky cap, and they're all on a scale that I'm happy with. So, oh man, it would be kind of cool if I had the other 2 figures handy rather than in storage bins under my bed. I could give you my own. I could hold the 3 of them all up all at the same time with my third hand, and I could show you my own little evolution of Bucky Barnes. But you know what? This is a cool figure. I'm happy to have him, and I have not really much more to say on him. So I'm going to have a sip of my ginger ale, then I'm going to get the other 2 things that I got from Comic-Con that are not action figures, and I'll show you those. And then the surprise. I hope you're excited. I hope you're excited and like... Wrong pipe. I hope you're excited about things that are going on in your life right now. I hope you have things and people and places that make you smile every day. Coming back. Don't hold your breath, or do hold your breath. I'm so close that it won't matter, because you'll be safe if you hold your breath. Alright, I've got the remaining 2 items here. This was actually the first item I got at the whole Comic-Con. It's empty now, but it was once a vessel which carried freeze-dried chocolate asteroids. It's basically just little freeze-dried chocolate balls. I was feeling quite peckish when I arrived at Comic-Con, and those jumped out at me, so I purchased them, and I ate them. They were pretty good. Overpriced? Yes. Busting? Yes. Here's the final thing I got for the day, actually. Gallery Panda. There it is. Let's take it out and see what it is together. Well, I know what it is. You don't. Here it is. It's a print. This is the film on top of the print, but you know what? Let's remove it together. It'll be fun. I kind of removed some of it already, as you can see, to show a pal of mine, but let's peel it off. Nice and slow. This could be ASMR. There could be an ASMR channel, and I'm sure there is already, of peeling things off of things. This portion of the video should be like a TikTok duet, where they put Subway Surfer in one corner and an oddly satisfying thing in another corner, and then Family Guy clips in another corner. This could be it. This could be the corner of a TikTok video. I am one with the children. Let's flip it upside down so you could watch the rest happen as well. Oh, it's tougher to do from this angle. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna take it off. I'm so sorry. I've exhausted my patience. Art. Art. From Gallery Panda. I've become quite a fan of vaporwave music and aesthetics, kind of the last, as of late. And I'm actually looking to get a couple things in order to make a little creative space in my living space. And I won't necessarily share what kind of creative space it's going to be as far as what I hope to accomplish there, but I do want to set up a little vaporwave themed creative space, and I have a couple other props and, you know, things that I've got to put in there to set the vibe, you know. Hello, Steve. Steve will not be welcome in the space. It's going to be a safe haven from meows. Come here. Come. That's a joke. He's allowed any place he wants to go. Except outside. Oh. No? Yeah? Come. Here he comes. Come here. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Holy shit, I just dropped him off the couch. I cursed. Oh, I'm gonna get demonetized now. An hour plus for nothing. That's okay. But here it is. I think it's really cool. Gallery Panda. Check them out. So I'm gonna put this someplace safe for now. I'll use it to cover my underwear. Maybe that could get me flagged as well. I really don't know. If I remember correctly, I promised you a surprise for staying this late into the video. And you know what they say about promises? They're made to be kept. So I'm going to now show you some other things. What's this? Oh, nothing important. Hello. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So the surprise is as follows. I wanted to show you some additional action figures that I did not get at Comic-Con, but I got rather lucky with an eBay haul. And so I wanted to... This is not my first time exploring these figures, as it is with my Comic-Con haul. But check this out. For a steal of a price, I got the Usos and Solo Sikoa off of eBay. Bundle. Steal. Not complete, necessarily. Jay came with his, you know, I think We the Ones or something shirt. Jimmy came with his necklace, not his hat. Neither of them came with their hats. And Solo came with his towel and shirt, but not his extra hands, which I'm not particularly worried about. It would have been nice to have the hats, or hat especially. I don't remember if Jay came with the hat. And if he had a Samoan Spike hand, I would have wanted that. But you know what? I'm not too worried about it. I think these figures look awesome together. I think if I get a display going, I might use this as like my singles run Jimmy Uso, because he looks kind of, or Jay Uso, because he looks kind of out of place with the other two brothers, you know, with the more kind of black and red and white scheme going on. And Jimmy's hair actually matches Solo's trunks pretty well. I think these two look really, really good together. So I might use these two as like a Bloodline post Jay's departure little section. And then I might use this as like my Solo run main event Jay Uso. Unless they make a better one, which I'm sure they will, that includes his new tattoo and maybe some of the designs on his pants and stuff. That would be pretty busting. So if that happens, then I will probably use that one and do what with this one, I don't know. But the good news is no one's asking me to know. I think that's all I got. I think I'm at a point in my evening now where I would like to stop recording, feed Steve, clean up the mess that I've made from my haul around me, and probably get to bed in the next 20 to 45 minutes. Maybe I'll watch Breaking Bad. Anyway, did I say hello friends new and old in the beginning of the video? I hope I did. If not, hello friends new and old, and now goodbye friends new and old. I appreciate that you stuck around with me today to watch this video. If you stuck around to watch this video, and I appreciate you if you didn't stick around to watch it. Although I'd have no, I guess that you'd have no way of knowing that I'm expressing said appreciation to you because you didn't stick around. But that's okay. To the probably 4 people on Earth that will ever see this video all the way through to the end, thank you. And for everyone else, even if you can't hear it, thank you. Anyways, I've had to practice this song like 6 times before I started recording because I could not remember it for the life of me. I really have not been playing much guitar lately. This has been the Eglowitz Variety Show. Don't ask what it's about, cause I still don't know. I just do whatever I feel like doing. Now I'm gonna go feed my cat before he gets so angry he fantasizes about scratching me in my sleep. Or, no, yeah, is the note I want to, is the chord I want to end on. Thank you so much for watching again. Goodbye, friends, old and new.